seconds late. I apologize. Just excuse me. Just got the new update from the National Hurricane Center. They hit the button way later than they normally do for the 8 a.m. tropical update. So I was busy updating all those graphics because I know Kellyanne's busy on the air, and I wanted to make sure I had the latest numbers before I came on with you. But anyway, it is 8:02 now. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. Today from the car in beautiful Sanford. I hope you're having a great start to the day. It is a lovely, lovely morning, but you don't have to take my word for it. Here's a live look outside from our tower cam network. That's Lake Dora already at 8:02. Are we watching a whole bunch of cloud cover over top, right? I mean, there's some clouds around. Let's just kind of look and see what's doing. First warning, live Doppler radar, relatively quiet. I mean, the clouds would have you thinking that there's a whole bunch of stuff around, but at this point in time, we're really not looking at a whole bunch of stuff. Let me just loop the radar. You kind of see down into Polk County, watching some stormy stuff kind of around Winter Haven. That eventually crosses the Kissimmee River and will maybe eventually work over to Brevard County. But that's basically it. From there, we come up here toward like the Big Bend, and there's some heavy downpours kind of working over toward Alachua County and eventually Marion County. But that's what we got for you this morning. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at 78 degrees in Orlando, 77 degrees in Leesburg. It's 73 in Palm Coast and 77 in Daytona Beach. So not a bad looking morning. There's a bunch of clouds, and I'm like literally I'm like one block away from the Seminole Town Center Mall. I'm broadcasting from a parking lot. And it doesn't look like a bad morning at all. So at least we've got that going for us. What about the forecast, though? It's going to be an active weather day. That much I can promise you, my friends. 86 degrees, 11 o'clock. We'll be climbing to 90 by 1 p.m., 92 by 3 p.m. And look at the rain chances. It's going to be a stormy day in Central Florida. Absolutely wet, active. It's going to be the kind of day where I would wonder about rainy day dismissal. I would wonder about any outdoor activities, which is why I'm getting my outdoor activities taken care of early. Alicia and I are going to go flying. We're also going to do a little bit of work on my car. And I'm taking him to lunch. So like, what else can be better? So I'll post some pictures of Alicia and I hanging out, and catch up with him and see how things are doing. It's gonna be fun stuff. Monica says, "Wow, it's been a while since we've had one of those days." Yeah, I mean, today we've got a bunch of moisture moving in, and this is just the start of what's going to be, frankly, a pretty active weather pattern for Central Florida over the next few days' time, right? We need rain chances to rise. So this is not a bad gig at all. As a matter of fact, when we look at the rain chances over the next couple of days' time, really it's over the next 4 days' time, 60%, that's an above average rain coverage for us. So that's fine. That's great. It helps to bring those temperatures down, which is always a good thing, right? Look at the high temperatures over the next couple of days. Certainly responding to that, right? 92, 93, 90. I think I originally went for today's high 91. I think Kellyanne went back to 92. But either way, temperatures right where we should be this time of year is something to celebrate, at least in my book. So that's kind of where we're at today. In terms of the overall forecast, though, let's take a look. Excuse me. Let's take a look first at the rainfall coverage map. You don't need to be a meteorologist to look at this and say, oh, yeah, it's probably going to be a nice active day, right? In terms of temperatures, let's take a look, and then we can load up the old Futurecast. All right, 89 degrees. Look at that in Ocala, 89 in the Villages, about 91 degrees in Leesburg, 92 degrees in Orlando, a little warmer out in Sanford at 93, but you know, the big focal point today is going to be the rainfall. So let's do this. Let's load up our Futurecast model, check in, see what's doing there, right? And there we are, 8 o'clock this morning. First off, it's picking up on that stuff down in Polk County. So to me, that's already a pretty decent run. But notice 9, 10 o'clock already getting rains going, which is why Alicia and I are going to do a morning flight today because I don't know that we're going to have a ton of time to dilly dally, right? So there's that. Okay. From there, watch what happens. We move into about lunchtime and it's widespread showers and thunder showers. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, kind of starting to work out to the east. And then by about 3, 4, 5 o'clock, the model clears it out quickly. I think what we end up with, honestly, is kind of more stratiform lingering rains thereafter. So I don't think it's going to completely clear out that quickly. But I do think an earlier start, an earlier push to those storms definitely moves through and helps us out. And when I say helps us out, like, let's just look at our forecast. And this is, by the way, not comparing it to record temperatures. No, 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 no. This is comparing it to average temperatures. High temperature in the left column, average temperature in the right column. Baby, that looks lovely, you ask me. All right, so that's where we're at in the forecast, and we can certainly go dive deeper into it. But at this point, in this moment, let's just take a pause and say good morning. How you doing? How you doing? Anybody have any fun plans today? Otherwise, look up and you see, I think we're flying a Piper today. Look up and say hi to us. Cheryl says, I need to post flyers for the Ritz Theater Sanford today in downtown Sanford. What's the best time? Only need an hour. I would say the earlier oh, Allegiant must be taken off. I would say earlier the better, just because we're getting those storms fired up early in the day. So just keep that in mind. And as a matter of fact, here I'll pop up while we're just entering it up. I'll pop up the day planner forecast so that while we're chatting, you've got a very clear look. Oh, not full screen. I'll do it this way. You've got a very clear look at what's ahead. Yeah. Where's the luau? Yeah. Well, Alex always wears fun shirts, and frankly, ever since I lost the weight, I had to completely update my wardrobe. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wear some fun shirts. So, yeah, there it is. There's already standing water in my yard from yesterday, Jan says. Yeah, I mean, we had some good soakers yesterday for sure. Patty says crazy lightning in Palm Coast yesterday. Kept knocking out our internet and cable, and it was so loud, had to drain a couple of inches off the pool. Meanwhile, if I don't get more rain, I think I leveled it up yesterday, like I didn't lose any yesterday. But if I don't get any rain in the next couple of days, I'm going to have to throw the hose in and start filling her up again. Man, Priscilla, can't wait for my thermostat to come today. It's too warm downstairs, going to need a new AC unit. Unfortunately, if the thermostat doesn't help, my AC unit is 15 years old at the new house. I'm really sorry about that. Oh my gosh. I hope that I hope whatever needs to be done can be done. Yeah. Ari says enjoying the cooler weather, right? Like who would have ever thought 92 is the cooler weather? But here we are, right? Here we are. Do you think your shirt will fit me? Chris is asking. It's a size small, so you know your size, but it's fun. It's got like fish and cocktails and all the fun stuff. So you tell me if it'll fit you. I do not know. You tell me. Jody said it was so much more pleasant on this morning's walk. I'll take any opportunities for that. We'll talk local and then we will get into the tropics. Does that sound good, y'all? Sounds good to me. Jeannie says fun shirts are cool. Just busting your chops. Oh, I know. I know. I listen. I've worked in TV long enough that I am going to be me, and that's just the way that it is. But I do know you versus like somebody that's just being a schmuck. There's a big difference. Yeah. Christian's asking about any updates on Invest 98. Yes, we've got updates, we've got models, all of the things. But I just want to make sure to wrap up our local forecast before we do anything else. Sandy says, "Love the shirt." Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. Laura says, "Let's check those invests." Yes. Looking fly today. Looking fly. I like it. Pretty fly. Do I need to get out of bed and grab my newspaper from the driveway, or do I have a couple more hours before the rain? You've got a little bit now, Ian. Not knowing exactly where you live, but I would say you do have a little bit of extra time. Yeah. So we're not done yet. Sydney says, "Local schmokel. Let's talk tropics." All right. Fine. Just because you said it that way. All right. So out to the tropics we go, and there still are three areas to monitor. Okay. You've got the one in the Gulf of Mexico and the two in the open Atlantic. The X's are where they are located right now. So why is there no X in the Gulf? Because it hasn't formed yet. Whereas we're watching Invest 98 and Invest 99 in the open Atlantic. Now, the good news is the open Atlantic activity does look to recurve, and we'll certainly look at the models here shortly. The Gulf area is an interesting little bugger, though, to me, because the Gulf area is going to be an area, maybe it's the Gulf, maybe there's also something in the Bahamas. The models are trying to figure out a homegrown scenario, and there's no promise what's going to happen here. So the Gulf area is one of maybe many. So I know you're like, what are you saying, Burris? So let's just look and let's just go kind of storm by storm by storm. Let's start with Invest 99, okay? So Invest 99 is on the right side of the screen there, all right? I'll play it and you'll see where X is marking the spot. Okay, and you can kind of get an idea. I'm sorry, in the center of the screen. So Invest 99 is the kind of the one at the center of your screen. It's not very well organized as that bubble up of moisture, but over the next couple of days' time, there is a medium 60% chance of it forming 7 days' time, a medium 40% chance of it developing over the next 2 days' time. Tropical depression could form. It was just dubbed an invest at 2 o'clock this morning. So that's Invest 99. That's the one on the left. The one on the right, that's Invest 98, was tagged an invest last night at 8 p.m. Also a medium chance of development. But the good news for both of these is that the models are wanting to recurve them. So let's just start with the older invest. Did I do this? I think I did. Yeah. So there's Invest 98 and kind of doing this recurvature thing, which that's good. I have no problems with that, right? So there's that. Now Invest 99, I've not built this, so I'm going to have to build it with you here. Just bear with me a couple of seconds while I do this. Invest 98. I need to go into the system. Give me 2 seconds. 98. 98. Tropical track. I mean, the fact that I'm doing this in my car is quite amazing, if you ask me. 99. Oh, I'm doing 99. I need 99. Hold on. 98. 99. 99. Okay, so there's the computer models for Invest 99. All right, so just to familiarize yourselves, again, Invest is still a very weak nothing, but it allows the Hurricane Center to run models. So they're the models on 98, which is the system further out. There's your computer models. We have less models having run on 99, but there are those models. Okay, so stuff to watch. Okay, nothing threatening us directly, but a couple of areas to watch. Okay, that said, let's switch over and let's look at the global models, because the global models really do give us a much better clue on what's going on here. Okay, so here's the global models as they are right now. This is the GFS, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through a couple of different versions of the GFS just to kind of keep everything in perspective, and then I will be getting to your questions and your comments and your concerns and all that stuff, because I know you're going to have info that you want, and I want to make sure to be a good steward to that information. right? Okay, but let's look at this together. This, just so that you know, this is the 6Z GFS, all right? So rolling through time, you can kind of see right where it says forecast high 92, there's kind of two dots. That's these two systems, okay? Friday, Saturday. Now, at this point, I just want to pause for a second. This is Saturday morning. You've got those dots. There's even another one kind of approaching the ABC Islands, the Antilles there. But look around Cuba. Look around South Florida. There's another weak area of low pressure there. Not developed, but another weak area of low pressure. So just by looking at this model, I see four areas of at least interest. Okay. Continuing this through time, I need some dang coffee. You see how the one that moves into the Caribbean, though, is starting to do its thing. I'm a little surprised that the Hurricane Center has not circled the Caribbean yet. Um, to, to me, the Caribbean is an interesting little bugger. But okay, we'll keep going through time. All right, you got your storm system kind of firing up. You see that storm system firing up off the northeast coast. That's the 23rd. Da, 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 da. The two in the open Atlantic kind of recurving. Storm system east of the Bahamas. That's the 27th. You see there's a little weak something east of the Bahamas there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. See that right there? That's the 28th. There's a little storm system there off the coast of the Carolinas. Now, that fits our pattern. If you go back one cycle, for example, you've got a hurricane kind of developing in the Bahamas and then moving up toward like South Carolina. Now, that's one model run. You go back two model runs, and it's a CAG over in like the Bay of Campeche drink. So in this case, in the most recent one, it's definitely weakened it, but it's still showing that vorticity off of the east coast of Florida. But at the moment, we're not really looking at any threats to Central Florida, which I'm totally, totally, totally fine with. All right. Now, that said, let's look at the European model. We'll go out to the basin view, and then I know you guys are chatting right now. We'll get to the questions and comments part. I'm doing my little in looking at data. It's really tough to like analyze data and answer questions because there's just too many tangents. So I apologize. But all right, let's roll through time. Here's the European model. All right, just kind of showing three areas to develop out there. One moving into the Caribbean. Interesting little piece of energy around Texas. That's early morning Tuesday of next week. See that there, that little piece of area of low pressure there? Nothing major, but a little piece of energy. Look at that storm system rolling off the coast of New England, bombing out in the Nova Scotia region. Ugh, gravy, that's nasty. And then you got a bunch of stuff. Like, look at that. Based on this, you got something in the North Atlantic, tropical or not, that's to be discussed. And then 1, 2, 3 in the open waters of the Atlantic. Right? And then beyond that, they recurve. And then look at that. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in the Caribbean. Like what is happening? So we'll look at the ensembles here in a second, but my immediate takeaway looking at just the global models is things are about to wake up. Yeah, bigly. And which model shows the Cat 6 that's going to come kill us? Yeah, none of them. None of the models show that. So I'm grateful that that's not going to be reality. If y'all saw my video, just like I'm amazed at some of the stupidity going on the social media channels. Yeah. All right. So any questions about the global models as we saw them? Otherwise, we can move on to ensemble plots. Cat 10, watch out. The arc is ready. That's right. A bunch of community Facebook people believe that a cat Oh, Deb says on a bunch of community Facebook pages, people believe that Cat 6. So I had a really good friend of mine. He works at our sister station in Boston, and his ask to me was, do you think that you gave any credence? Because I posted something, and then over in Alabama, James Spann posted something, and I'm like, here's the thing: when I've got a bunch of people asking me questions about this, I can respond to them, but eventually I just need to put something out and be like, guys, this is utter nonsense. And I finally got to that point where I had to do that. So um, always be ready for a storm during hurricane season, but the government is not telling you about this. Why aren't the meteorologists telling you about this? Well, if you watch Coffee Talk, we sit here for a half an hour in the morning and 10, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and we look at data and we go through the data. And I'm promising you, I'm showing you every ounce of hours in the GFS and the European. I'm showing you all the stuff. So what can I do? You know? Oh, I like that. Chris says intelligence has an upper limit, but stupidity, dot, dot, dot. That's funny. I like that. Yeah. All right. So that's that. Any other questions? Otherwise, we're going to go and take a look at the ensemble members. Priscilla says that's why I don't have a TikTok. No, I get you. Listen, when TikTok started to become a thing, people were asking me to dance on camera, and I'm like, you know what? No, because my thing is like maybe I don't have as many followers as if I acted like a schmuck on number. I'm gonna have to let that one go to voicemail. Somebody's calling me, but I know the number. If they need me, they'll leave a voicemail. Because I may not have as many followers on the social media channels as if I danced around like a moron, but I want you to know that everything that I put out is accurate. And I'm going to be silly at times, sure, but I'm not dancing around. I'm not spreading goofiness, you know. So my credibility is something that I work really hard to establish. Your trust is something I work really hard to establish. Yes, I'm wearing a martini and fish shirt, but like, it's who I am. So I just want you to know that's my personal branding strategy. Like we're going to be real, but we're going to be real. You know what I mean? I'll give you the real deal on things and we can have our conversation. You know what it is I always wanted to be the guy that you have a beer with or that you have a coffee with. Hence coffee talk. Like that's it's not this strategic positioning. It's just this is who I am. This is what I want to be. So that's where we are. Okay. All right. Enough of that nonsense. So let's look at some ensembles. Pop up the GFS. And if you're not familiar with what an ensemble plot is, ensembles are a way to look at the model 50 different ways. So in other words, this is a look at the GFS ensembles, right? Like there's 50 different models. I'm not going to sit here and go like member 7, member 6. So what I do instead is I put them all on top of each other and it gets very cluttery. But, when you start to zoom in, you get an idea. Let me pop up the low locations. And right here, for example, we're starting to see some ensemble members throwing areas of low pressure in that bottom right corner of the screen. So there's starting to be some model weekend. May have something trying to cross into the Caribbean, right? And then recurve maybe, but you're kind of starting to see some ensemble support for stuff around Florida and the southeastern United States coast. The ensemble plots are a little all over the place, but they're trying to figure it out, and that's the power of ensemble plots. So let me back this up. Let's switch over to the European ensembles. All right, now interestingly enough, if we go all the way back, like there's the European showing that little tropical wave recurving and staying east of us. but then it's starting to bubble up something either in the Gulf or in the Bahamas, right? But you're getting around Monday, Tuesday of next week, the European ensembles are really like evenly divided, right? Like I know that the long range forecast we put out, that pattern overwhelmingly does say east of Florida, but I'm not gonna not share with you the information that I'm seeing on the models. So for now, the models are kind of well spread on that. Let's check the Canadian ensembles. So Canadian ensembles showing like next Wednesday, like something trying to form in the Caribbean, and then it looks like most of that, maybe it's 66% are east and 30-40% are west of us, but either way, all of the ensemble members on all of the models, on all of the global models, are showing homegrown development looking at next week, stuff nearby. So what does that mean? That means that as we look to like this graphic and you see those areas out east of us, really those shouldn't be our big concerns. It's going to be around us that we're going to look for some stuff, we'll say, come next week. So when you start hearing of tropical this or tropical that developing next week, don't let it catch you off guard. Don't let it freak you out. Just know that that's what the models are saying. And as it starts to play out, it shouldn't catch you off guard, right? All right. Now, questions, comments, concerns about the tropics. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm here now to chat. Karen, love you. Excuse me. At least you're not drinking a martini and fish. Yeah, no, not doing that. Thank you. Terry, thank heaven. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Becky, thank you, thank you. Deb says, don't change who you are. I wouldn't. I wouldn't for a girl, wouldn't for a job. I've always said, like, if Wesh is the kind of place that ever wanted me to hype stuff, I wouldn't be able to survive it. I just couldn't do it. It's just not the way that it is for me. Integrity is kind of paramount to me. Yeah. Tell Alex that Coffee Talker say hello. Absolutely. You know I will. You know I will. Yeah. Sarah, so there's likely going to be a hurricane next week. Slow down, Sarah. Slow down. All I'm saying is that the models are showing tropical development around Florida. Could be waves, could be depressions, could be whatever. At this point, the models are all pretty much in agreement showing stuff. And so because of that, we'll need to watch it. Kristen's asking, does the BSR show east coast of Florida storm second week of September? That's a little far out for the BSR, but it is showing something kind of homegrown around Florida working toward the Carolinas, and then it shows something cruising along the Gulf working toward the west coast. So there you go. So Marcia, yeah, the BSR is showing everything basically on time that we had discussed in our long range hurricane forecast, which if you've not seen it, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. Excuse me. All right. Sarah says, I'm in Southwest Florida. I'm more nervous than I'd normally be. Calm down, Sarah. Calm down. We need rainfall. Calm down. Okay? All right? Do not worry. There's no Cat 5s heading for us. No Cat 6s heading for us. Jesus. None of that. None of that at all. All right? All right. So, that said, we know that the tropics are going to be heating up next week. This weekend, there's even a tropical wave moving towards South Florida. It's going to help to bring up the rain chances. So notice plenty of shower and thunderstorm activity. And then into early next week, I think we'll be kind of a little between. So we'll be lowering those rain chances just a little bit. Kevin says, look ahead to weather for the UCF kickoff game. I need to get to that. I'm chatting with folks over at UCF actually about weather stuff as I was coming on the air for Coffee Talk today. I was chatting with them this morning. Also, tomorrow is Accolade over at UCF, so I'm very excited to get out and do that stuff as well. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Mickey's asking with Enzo, are we still looking at El Nino? Oh, no, no, no. We're not trending more normal. We're still very much in El Nino. Go nuts, Michael. Hey, dude, I ordered some t-shirts from that brand that everybody was talking about. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God. Do you think she saw the ensemble and thought it was all these storms coming at us, Mike? I mean, it's possible. I can only do my best to explain what that is. I can't. Yeah, I can't. I can't tell everybody individually. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Yeah. Let's try to forget the hurricane stuff till next week. Listen, Terry, I'm just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page. That's all. All right. That's all I got for you, people. Okay. All right. So listen, 3:30 this afternoon, we'll do another coffee talk. I'm off the air today. Today's my day off, so we'll do that. All right. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. Mike says, just woke up, got to catch the replay unless you want to do it again. Yeah, you want me to just do the last 32 minutes again live? No, I'm just kidding. Watch the replay. All right. Be good. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Chat with you later. Bye.